Do you wonder, what am I doing here in this life? What am I here for? What is my purpose? Are you always seeking for a meaning and you feel lost? You're confused. What am I here for? Like you feel that you have a purpose, that you have something big waiting for you to discover what this thing is, but you don't even know where to start, how to look for it. What is actually a purpose? What is the difference of purpose and mission? That's what I'm going to talk about here in this video. I feel like purpose and mission are used interchangeably nowadays, when everybody is just seeking for meaning and trying to understand what they're doing to their lives. I feel like a lot of people have been lost, have been confused, have felt this calling that they don't even know what it is, and they don't even know where to look for a meaning and direction. I just wanted to first bring a definition to compare what is a purpose and what is a mission, and you can start finding what those are for you, because I feel this is so important to align with your true essence. And I'm also going to bring a tool to find your purpose and your mission. Although it's not something simple, it's not something easy. I'm still in the search. I understand the concept of my purpose and mission, but just say that I found it, it's hard still for me to say that. So I hope you keep walking this journey with me while I discover myself, while I discover what I'm truly here for. And I'm gonna be sharing with you throughout this journey. So first, let's understand the basics. What is life purpose? Life purpose is the greater reason for your existence. It is directly related to your being, your essence, and what makes you truly fulfilled. It's kind of a subjective concept, more internal than external. And your purpose is not tied to a specific area or role, but rather to an energy and intention that guides your choices and experiences. It transcends doing. It's more connected to being who you are in this existence. So it may relate to your passion, the values you hold, and the emotions you experience throughout your journey. And sometimes it's really hard to identify what your purpose is. I don't know for you, but for me, I feel like I'm good in a lot of things, and anything I put some effort into, I'm gonna be good at. And sometimes, for some time, I'm gonna be feeling like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. But then if I think about it a little bit, I realize that's not what really fulfills me. And this is a moment that I'm living right now. I still haven't found what fulfills me, even though I have a brief idea of what my purpose is. So part of it is sharing my experiences and helping other people with my my experiences. But I still haven't found what really fulfills me, what makes me feel happy, and what makes me feel like this is what I'm doing. And if you're going through this, don't worry, this is completely normal. I think most people haven't found their purpose in life, and it's okay. We're here in search for this meaning. And it takes time, you know? It requires a lot of self-reflection. And some questions you can ask yourself to start reflecting on your life purpose is, what makes me feel most alive and connected to myself? What values do I consider essential to my existence? When do I feel I'm in my most authentic state? What would I do for free simply because I love doing it? So your purpose is rooted in who you are and the impact you have on the world. Even if it's not directly tied to a profession or a specific activity, and it doesn't need to be something big either. Your purpose could be something simple as helping your family. It doesn't need to be a great achievement in life, and everybody has a purpose because everybody's here fulfilling a purpose, fulfilling an action, a part of the world. Nothing is random. Everything has a meaning, connect somehow. So yes, you have a purpose. Your purpose can be little, can be simple, but if you're doing it, you're doing a great job to the world, to this reality, to the universe. And then comes the mission. I think a lot of people confuse it and use it, as I said, interchangeably, but it's different. So the purpose is that overall abstract concept that we talked about, and it's linked to being, the state of is. Whereas the life mission is linked to doing. So your life mission is how you express your purpose in the world through your actions, projects, or contributions to society. Unlike purpose, which tends to remain constant throughout life, your mission can evolve as you gain new experiences and skills. Your mission is the tool through which you manifest your purpose in the practical world. So your purpose is gonna be the same throughout your entire life, and your mission can change. You can fulfill your purpose within a mission and then decide that's not how you want to do it and do it differently, and you can do it better. So if you're doing something that you feel, okay, this feels really aligned with my purpose, but it's not what I want to do for my entire life, it's okay. You can change because you can still fulfill your purpose working on a different mission. And there are a few questions you can also ask yourself to identify your mission. So how can I translate my purpose into something tangible? What talents and skills can I use to create transformation? How can I positively impact my community? What global issues resonate with me and motivate me to act? So your life mission can manifest in various forms. You can be an entrepreneur, you can be an artist, you can be a teacher, a healer, a mentor, or any role that aligns with your values and passions. So your purpose is more related to what is the end goal you want to achieve, what you want to bring to the world, whereas your mission is more tied to what you do. It can be your profession or even a hobby if you are fulfilling your purpose. It's the way you do it. And there is a connection between the two, as you probably understood already. Purpose is the internal flame that guides your existence, while mission is the concrete way that flame takes shape in the world. So I think we can also use this metaphor of the software and the hardware, or the soul and the body. While the soul and the software is your purpose, the hardware and the body is your mission, is the channel that is being used to manifest that intention. So when both the purpose and the mission are aligned, the sense of fulfillment becomes much deeper, because you're not just working on completing tasks randomly, but you're living your truth and contributing to something greater. You really understand your part here. You really understand that you have a place in the world and you have a motive for being here. A person, for example, may have the purpose of inspiring others to awaken their consciousness. And a lot of us are here for it. If you're not fulfilling this purpose, you're gonna feel lost and you're gonna feel a calling, like you need to do something that you're not doing. And then the mission might be working as a holistic therapist, a speaker, or a writer to share inspiration. So do you see how there's an intention and then there's an action? This intention, which is like the base, the root, the cause, is what generates and ignites the person to do something, which is the mission, to fulfill that base, that intention, that purpose. And what happens when we're not aligned? That's what I said. You feel lost. You feel a constant emptiness, like you have no place in this world, like you're here for nothing. But that's not true. Even if you have a successful career, a successful life, full of, material resources, or you found, the love of your life, you have a family, but you still feel an emptiness. because you're here to fulfill a purpose, and you got to find this purpose. And the best way to find this purpose is self-knowledge, self-reflection, self-awareness. So yeah, it might not be something easy to do because you gotta look inside, you gotta look in yourself, and most times we don't want to look what's inside, what's their essence. Sometimes we are afraid of the darkest part of ourselves. But what can we do? We are light and we are dark. We are duality. We have both light and darkness, and we have to look to both sides, especially to the darkness, to get to know ourselves and to understand what is our purpose and what is the mission we're going to choose to fulfill that purpose. If we do not do so, if we don't take the time and put some effort for this exploration, we are going to find ourselves again lost, confused, or empty, or not fulfilled. Doesn't matter how much you achieve if it's not aligned with what you're supposed to do. That's going to be very hard. And no one's purpose or mission can be the same, the exact same as another person's purpose and mission, because we're all different and we're all each fulfilling a different role, a different purpose. So that's why it's really important to really look inside, look internally, and find that out. And how do you do that? I have a tool that is a tool that I use to start discovering myself, to start my self-knowledge journey. And I'm still in this journey, as I mentioned, and I really want to help more people use this tool to find themselves. And astrology is this tool. And there are some key fundamental knowledges in astrology that helps us find this purpose and mission. Astrology is a very complex area of study, and likely you would need a professional astrologer or deep study to fully understand yourself, to fully do your self knowledge journey with astrology. But you can start somewhere, and I'm gonna give you the tools to start. We're gonna start with the lunar nodes. The lunar nodes in astrology are mathematical points representing the intersection between the moon's orbit and the ecliptic, which is the sun's apparent path. They are always positioned in opposite signs in the birth chart. So we have the north node that indicates the direction we should take in this life, and it represents the challenges and lessons to be learned, but also deep personal growth. The south node represents our innate abilities, past life patterns, and automatic behaviors that may limit us if we stay stuck in them. So an easy way to interpret the lunar nodes, the south node and the north node in astrology, is understanding that the south node would be your past purpose. So when you're in a past life, what were you here for? What were you learning? What were you acting towards? And the north node is where you're going to, what you have to learn to go to the next stage. Or if life was a game, it would be, what do I have to do to pass to the next level? That's the north node. It's like the south node is everything you learned in the previous level, and the north node is what you have to learn to go to the next level. And that's where the sweet spot of understanding your purpose is. So the north node indicates the path of growth and development in your life. So for example, if you have the north node in Aries, you're learning to take initiative and develop independence. If you have the north node in Taurus, you're building stability and valuing simplicity. If you have the north node in Gemini, you're developing communication skills and intellectual curiosity. If you have the north node in Virgo, like I have, you're learning to organize and perfect practical skills. And I have a full list of what the north node in each sign means on my blog, notintheplanet.com. I'm also going to leave it here on the description so you can access. But it's basically interpreting the energies, what the meaning of that sign is, and basically putting the word, what you're learning in this life, or what you're developing in this life, and use the description of that sign. But that's not the only thing you use to interpret your purpose, or to understand what you're here developing, because your North Node will be in a sign, but it will also be in a house. So if your North Node is in Aries, you're learning to take initiative and develop independence. But then if it is in the third house, which is ruled by Gemini, you're also developing communication skills and intellectual curiosity. So you unite the two energies, the house and what the theme of the house is, and the sign. And then we also have the midheaven. The midheaven is the highest point in the birth chart, and it represents our career, our reputation, and the impact on the world. The sign in which the midheaven is placed gives a clue about our vocation and how we can stand out professionally. So it's usually going to tell what you're good at professionally or what career you're going to choose. So for example, if you have the midheaven in Aries, you're very independent and you're gonna be in a pioneering career and you have natural leadership. And that's my positioning, for example. That's why I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. That's why I've always wanted to work independently and, have my own business. But if you have the midheaven in Taurus, you most value financial stability and you want to work with something related to arts or finance. If you have the midheaven in Gemini, for example, you value communication, education. You could follow something along the lines of journalism or technology. If you have the midheaven in Aquarius, for example, then you'll be very in tune with technology, innovation. You're going to work in something related to social change and humanitarian causes. And that's going to be very aligned with your mission, because that's something you're doing, and it could be professionally, which is going to make you feel more fulfilled, because how long do we spend working for a corporation, for example, or to have a financial return? It's most of our lives. So if your profession is aligned with your mission, that will be way better for you. You'll feel way more fulfilled and happier. So how to integrate this knowledge of the North Node and the Midheaven to understand your life purpose and mission? We're going to combine the two. So while the North Node reviews your soul's spiritual growth, the Midheaven guides you to find your professional direction, as we said, and the impact you have on society. So here's some practical examples. Someone has a North Node in Gemini and a Midheaven in Leo. This person should develop communication skills, which is the North Node in Gemini, and use them to shine professionally, possibly in areas like journalism, theater, or digital influence, which is the Midheaven in Leo. Someone with a North Node in Capricorn and a Midheaven in Virgo. They must learn to assume responsibility and leadership, which is the North Node in Capricorn, and apply it to a structured and service-oriented career, which is the Midheaven in Virgo, such as healthcare or administration. In my case, as I mentioned, I have the North Node in Virgo and the Midheaven in Aries. So in my case, my purpose and mission are very aligned onto organizing and perfecting practical skills. And if I also add the house, which is my North Node is applied, which is the third house, which is ruled by Gemini, I know that I have to develop communication skills and intellectual curiosity. And what is my professional career more aligned to, where I work independently, with leadership and as an entrepreneur. So this is how you understand your purpose and mission with astrology. But there are also other indicators in our natal chart in astrology that can help make more sense of this great thing that is understanding yourself and understanding especially your mission and purpose. So if you look at the sun sign, for example, it will represent your essence and vitality. The sun indicates where we can shine and express our identity authentically. And the sun sign, everybody knows, is the sign we say all the time when you were born. It's usually the month. So I was born April 29th. My sun is Taurus, so it represents my essence, my vitality. So what does that sign talk about? That's what's going to be aligned. So If you combine all these aspects, you can have a better picture of the entirety of your essence. It's almost like a guide to your life programming. And of course, if you do your chart with a professional astrologer, they'll not only look at specific points, they'll see the overall natal chart. So they're going to observe the patterns, repetitions. Sometimes you're going to see a lot of energy focused in one sign. So before really understanding your purpose and mission, you probably have to work on that conglomerate of energy that might be stuck in you in one path or one challenge that you really have to resolve before you start looking into how to move forward. And of course, the configurations of the aspects, so trines, square, conjunctions, they can indicate challenges, strengths, and they can give you a better direction in how to fulfill your purpose. So yeah, astrology is a very profound and insightful tool, but you gotta know how to use it the right way, or else you might end up more confused and more lost than you were before. And my mission here is to really help you understand your purpose and, stop feeling lost, or maybe think that your life doesn't have a meaning, or stop feeling some emptiness, or trying to understand this calling you feel. I hope that this video or this knowledge or my experience helped you find a light to, start working on your self-discovery, understand that you have a purpose and you can work on different missions, or you can find a different mission that you are doing right now to fulfill that purpose. And you can and you deserve to be happy doing exactly what you came here to do, exactly what you're here for. And that is the most beautiful thing when I get someone's chart. I'm not a professional astrologer, but I love studying astrology and I love reading my friends' birth charts. So when I look at someone's chart and I ask them, what do you do? And sometimes they say, oh, this, I can tell them, like, this is aligned with what you're programming, what you are here for. But maybe they're unhappy. So I tell them, well, maybe it's just because you are not in the mission that is fulfilling you anymore. Maybe you can do something slightly different and feel happy. So it's just aligning this few different things, and sometimes knowing that you are aligned with your essence, that's really precious. And sometimes that's all you need to know, that's all you need to hear, that you are in the right path. As I said, all of the examples of North Node in which sign, Midheaven in which sign is on my blog. I wrote 2 blog posts, one on the difference between purpose and mission, and the other one on how to use astrology to find that out. Please check that out and let me know if you have any questions, or if you need any help understanding your purpose and your mission. And that's it. Bye.